Oh, it's me again. I've been watching some of my submissions there, and well, I can tell you, it's when you're trying to do, it's like the lawyer who defends himself. He's got a fool for a client, you know. But I mean, I got nobody to do this. I've tried to get some students to help. I figured university students to put on videos and that. And one guy phoned and wanted to know what I was trying to do, and I told him, and he says, oh, he wouldn't get involved because he knew somebody else had tried it, and the government caused him grief. So I'm trying to do this myself, and the stress, you can imagine the stress, you're living with it. But I'll try writing stuff down, and hopefully I can stick to some of it. And stick to the time frame this time. But one thing that lawyer told me after I got my file and my family sent me to the lawyer, he said, publicity. Well, tried all that, and he told me he talked to Report Magazine out of Alberta. I don't know if you remember them. That was about 5-6 years ago. They're defunct now. They went out of business, but they used to go after the governments. Anyways, they were going to do it. Oh, definitely. They were definitely going to do the story. I talked to them in Edmonton, was their head office. They sent a reporter to the Regina Workers' Comp office. He left her shaking, you know. And he sent me an email stating they couldn't get involved because they couldn't afford the lawsuit at the time. But they really wanted to do it. But anyways, they're out of business now. But they did want to do it. So, and Star Phoenix, well, they're a joke. That's a rag. The only rag in town, but it's a pretty filthy rag. Anyways, with all that's going on, you know, it's like the science of this, the engineering of all of this, of the workers' comp system now. It's like trying to get an engine run with square pistons. Well, keep throwing money at it, keep hiring these idiot engineers, these psychopaths, and I guarantee that engine's never going to run. Never. But they're going to keep trying. So that's where I stand on that. It's just, you know, like I said about the laws, they mean nothing to these people. Bad faith laws, sure, they're all bad faith laws. The whole system is bad faith. But the main thing is we can't sue them. That's where the big problem is. And people have tried, and I think some people got paid out. Sure, they did. But no, they've made it untouchable for us financially. And the laws, the bad faith laws, of course, they're supposed to treat us fair again, I've said, but people sat around in Vegas, I was told years ago, and they had meetings about, because it's all across the country. It didn't just happen in Saskatchewan or British Columbia. It's all over the place now. And they discussed how they can do it to us, and they're doing it. And anyways, that's where that stands. But another thing he told me to do is see a psychiatrist. Well, I said, I'm not crazy. He said, no, but you've changed. Your family said you're not the same person you were years ago. I said, well, I still haven't got a gun and shooting it. I mean, that's not me. Any 90-year-old woman could kill somebody, the toughest man on earth, with a gun. I mean, that's not the way to solve it, really. You know, and I ain't going to leave the country like a lot of these foreigners come here. They're leaving their problems and bringing them with. I'm going to change things now. I want to fix things here for my kids. You know, before they totally destroy this country. They're working on it as we speak. They're going out of their way, and maybe it's too big of a country. It's the second largest country in the world. It's just too much for Harper and the boys. It's definitely too much for Kreshia, and he really does. And I'm not making fun of his physical deformity. He really does speak out of both sides of his mouth. He's a dirty bastard. But the whole works. It's just too much of a country for them to look after. And so therefore, it's whatever fills your bank account, I guess, and whoever writes the history books. But they should be written in blood, as far as I'm concerned, when they get down to who really. We are Canada. I'm more of a Canadian than any of those bastards. I feel like I'm more of a Canadian. Like I said, I was a flag waver, and I was in earnest about it. Anybody who would want to live off blood money in this country, to me, is garbage. They're a traitor. They should be shot, executed, because they're destroying the country. You don't have to go to war to be a trader. You don't have to give information out to a foreign country, to be a trader. You can destroy from within. And that's what they're doing right now. At least that's the way I feel. But anyways, get back to the psychiatrist. So my doctor thought, family doctor thought that was a good idea, because he's been trying to help me. And he said a lot of doctors are on my side now. That's maybe another reason I couldn't get my medical review. He said every doctor he's talked to heard about what happened to me now, but that's another story. But anyways, I tried to see a psychiatrist, and most of them wouldn't see me for at least a year or longer. Sabbatical, I think 2 of them were on sabbatical, and the rest were just so damn busy they couldn't. Well, all of a sudden, I get my doctor actually phoned me. He said, there's a guy who wants to see you right away, within weeks. Well, to me, I found it after. I'll tell you, it's like the only restaurant in town you don't need to make a reservation. There's a good reason for that. Service is lousy, quality is lousy, product is lousy. Anyways, in less than half an hour, I was in there for 27 minutes. I timed it. 4 of that was taken up. He talked about another patient as if I was his dog or something. Right in front of me. She was bipolar, 27 years old, bipolar, and possibly mildly retarded, but that would take more investigation, of course. And I know her name, I'm not going to give it. I mean, but I mean, I couldn't believe this guy was doing it. And then he wouldn't look at me, but he yelled at me, "How did you have this accident? You must remember this accident." Just yelling at me. Well, right away I figured out what was going on, and after my doctor figured out what was going on, he said, "Yeah, it looks like they got to him." Well, that report came after I was cut off compensation, no talking with, they wouldn't talk to me anymore. But they took that out of my file too. I noticed it's gone. It doesn't matter. I've had copies made and other people give them back to me, but anyways, he's dead now. I'll see him on the other side. He's a dirty, rotten little SOB, and I'll put it this way, if Mahatma Gandhi had an evil twin, this was the guy. He discussed things in my file that we never discussed. In the report, it was almost, my doctor said, "How long were you there?" I said, "Less than a half an hour." He said, "Well, I don't know how he got all this information in less than a half an hour." And I read it, and he gave me a copy. We never discussed this stuff. Some of the stuff that he put in that report, they weren't discussed. So he had to get his information from somewhere else. And my lawyer, or my doctor, didn't even know about some of that stuff, so he didn't get it from him. But anyways, just so you know what you're up against in later times when you're dealing with these people, when you're fighting them, it gets interesting. It's almost humorous that they'll sink to these levels. They're getting caught at it. They don't seem to mind, but I don't think they want. I sure wish some of the stuff I see on this internet, it'd be nice to see it on the 11 o'clock news at night. But then we get our national coverage, I guess. But one thing the compensation board did say too is, apparently I didn't. Back when I was complaining in 76 and 77, they said I complained too much. I was just a complainer. No basis for my complaint. They wouldn't investigate further. They wouldn't examine my shoulder, not even an x-ray. Wouldn't examine my lower spine, even though they were told repeatedly I had problems with both. But they said I was just a complainer. Well, now they're saying I didn't try hard enough. But what they did was they took doctors' reports, contacted doctors. But they waited until the doctors had destroyed the reports before they contacted them. Doctors don't have to keep them for over 5 years. So some of the doctors wrote back and said, "Oh, I didn't see him about my shoulder." But they don't know what I saw him about. Well, if they don't know what I saw him about and don't have the reports, then how do you know I didn't see you? I mean, that's exactly what I did do. Obviously, I finally did get diagnosed. But anyways, that's why we are not allowed to go to court, I guess. But whatever, God, you see all these people in university and they're supposed to be so intelligent. Sorry, bullets coming. See ya.